teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we maybe, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring it, master teacher, bring it, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring it, master teacher, bring it, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we on spirit, and without knowing we could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master. Teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They didn't finish. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about for the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, teacher, freedom for the master. Bring the master teacher, bring the master teacher for the master. Master teacher, freedom 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 for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. Let's free the master teacher, free the master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. Let's free the master teacher, free the master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master. Master teacher, 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 freedom for the master. Master teacher.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They didn't finish. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about for the master, master teacher? Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free.
Rahubat Moisar. Welcome yet again to another episode of OSM Vision, Ask Us Anything. My name is Saken Sakamreye, one of the millions of student teachers across the globe of the master teacher Parnabab Yanun, known to many as Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, the man of the hour, the man of many faces, the guide, the reformer. You know, he has many titles. Baba Yanun. Rahubat Moisar to everyone on the other platforms, on TikTok, Rahubat. Good to have you guys as usual. Rahubat everyone on YouTube, excuse me, and the other platforms. Let's just check who's on. Rahubat, Sikujuju, Rahubat, Coca Brown, Rahubat, Reye Kar Us, Rahubat. I see your question. We're going to get to the questions. Let's let more people join. Celestial 19, Rahubat. Rahubat, Akar, the Hutui, Rahubat, Rahubat, Rahubat to everyone. Okay, so we're aware that we're getting lots and lots of new followers and new members. So it's only proper to take a little time to kind of introduce who we are and let you know what we are here doing as OSM Vision. yes, the title is Ask Us Anything. And sometimes people get it a bit twisted. So we say ask us anything. And we have never said from the inception of this channel that we know everything. What we actually do say is we know a man who does. And we say that we're going to go and look it up, check it out, ask other student teachers, and if possible, get the question to the master teacher and see if we can get an answer by him. So don't get it twisted when people just come and just ask any like silly questions and just things like, you know, it's just like you can Google that, or, you know, you're just trying to be funny. So we say ask us anything, but it's our prerogative to answer by telling you that you have to go and look it up somewhere else, or that we don't know. To say we don't know is still an answer. We're still answering your question. But people get it twisted and say, oh, you look, say ask us anything. So, you know, they're just going to come and ask us some silliness that, you know, it's really not worth our time. So I'm just making that clear for newcomers that yes, we do say ask us anything. And to date, you know, we've answered every question. And if we don't know, those who are loyal, true followers, they will tell you that there's been times when I'm like, I don't know, let me go and check it out. Next week I'll come back and I'll give you the answer. Okay. And what we do is stay current, because the current situation right now, yeah, it's been like that for a long time, but it's about love and unity. Yeah. Because we know that our love and our unity is what's going to free the master teacher, because he said that himself. So we're not here to attack anyone or do the opposite of what the master is requesting of us in terms of love and unity, to attack each other, you know, with the whole crabs in the barrel mentality. We ain't on that, you know, like people trying to pull each other down. You know what I mean? What is actually funny is that you could use that energy to fight the real enemies of the master teacher, the real people that have put him inside. And so go hard on them. Go hard on them as much as you will go hard on your own people who are actually supposed to be working with you. And one of the things is we always say to people, study the doctrine. Yeah. Study the hereafter doctrine in particular. And for those who don't know what that is you have a lot of information that the master teacher, Partner Babyanun, put out for years, all right, going back to when he opened the seventh seal in 1970. So we refer to that period from 1970, yeah, AD, to the year 2000 as the first half hour. And then from the year 2000 to 2030 is the second half hour. So a lot of the information that he put out before the year 2000, before the year 2000, is not referred to as the hereafter doctrine. So we're saying hereafter the end of the devil's rule, which was in the year 2000 AD, after the 6,000 years that was allotted to him. So the hereafter doctrine is Partarak, master secrets and actual facts. Yeah. So it's obvious to those who are studying, right? So when we say to everyone, study the books, is because you're having a one-to-one interaction with the master teacher yourself by way of his books, right? So it won't be I say so, because if you're studying the books, especially the hereafter doctrine, books like the Partarak, the actual facts, master secrets, our commandments like the 33 commandments, etc., which are all doctrine from the master teacher, Partner Babyanun, who is telling us in the books of what to do and what not to do. Like, we don't curse, use vulgarity. I mean, you can read that. In fact, I can read that now from the 33 commandments, right? So that's, I'll go to, I'll go before that. I'll read from I'm going to read page 12, right? In fact, let me read from page 11, which is slate number 6. It says, Anuki Yake Anuki, I am who I am. 1. Male sports are for Ayashu, males. Female sports are for Ashu, females. Third, beware of games, gamblings, challenges, contests, competitions. Some win and feel good, some lose and feel bad. You don't want to make others feel bad. That's 5. 6, beware of this tactic to feed their mukhna'u, elementals, who feed off of tashurat, emotions. 7, mostly negative emotions, such as depression, despair, despondency, sorrow, unhappiness, gloom, worry, discouragement, sadness, defeat, jealousy. 8, so the Mu'adamu, Adamites, promote and broadcast all kinds of win and lose games. 9, the West is full of depressions, sadness, as the Mu'adamu, Adamites, lack ba'a, soul, and real tashurat, emotions. 10, they are only 1/4 Haman, human, so 11, so they only have small amounts of feelings. 12, so they offer the elemental alien beings all kinds of tashurat, emotions, or azub, energy, in tazuz, motion, from the ba'a, soul. 13, by sports, games, gambling, drama, horror, or terror, fright, fear, panic, scare, and trembling. So, 14, so the Mu'adamu, Adamites, offer and make all kinds of deals with evil mukhraj'u, aliens they call specters, jinns, yeah? Their muslafu, ancestors, and worshipped the dead in their datat'at, religions. 15, they call on ghost spirits, so their God is heard yet not seen to some, while in Bible and Quran, God Allah comes in person, physical form, seen in Genesis 18:1-8 and Quran 37:83-113. 16, so who or what is their unseen God or Allah or ghost? 17, and all the mushkasu, people they follow in their Bible and Quran are dead people. 18, or they pray for the mumwat, dead to return, as they invoke all kinds or mukna'u, elementals. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of slate 7, which is on page 14. 1, I study my hadab, culture. 2, I master my own lahaj, language. 3, I do not use slangs or vulgarity. I am never vulgar. 4, I am never loud or vicious or obscene. 5, I am never unruly out of salat, control. 6, I am never disrespectful to others. 7, I am not a slut, moyash, male, or moyash, female. 8, I am never the problem. 9, I am never the cause of nazalat, conflicts, or shawash, chaos. Okay, that's slate 7. So that's what I was saying when I say, if you're following and studying the up-to-date doctrine of the hereafter doctrine, you are never going to be creating that type of chaos. Okay, so those who are reading the doctrine, we do not curse, use vulgarity, come at each other and compete with each other and so on. And if you're doing the opposite to that, I'm still looking at more people joining. Make sure you share the links, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And so it's obvious when anyone is on that vibration of creating chaos, division, it's clear they're not actually up to date or following or reading the up to date hereafter doctrine. But we do have a lot of new people and a lot of young people that we're really so proud of, okay, who were born and raised in the community. So again, if you're new to the channel, we are a culture of Wu-Sabat. Our master teacher is Dr. Malachi Z.K. York. We affectionately refer to him as Partner Bab Yanun, the Master Yanun. And he's the one that has authored over 1,000 books, given us our culture back, given us our language back, and has built many communities, raised many people across the globe. And those young people that were raised and brought up in our community are excellent examples But the thing is, you have two types. You have those who stayed in the community and have grown up to be young adults, and you have those that left the community because, you know, they wanted to go out there and experience the world instead of being groomed and sheltered within the community. The master made a point by saying that the first fruits were faithful but not true. And he broke it down to us to say that these people wanted to go out into the world and, you know, party, get into like drugs, into the music industry. He said music is not a career. Don't get me wrong, there is proper music, but in terms of like rap and stuff, he said that rap was crap because it's bytes and edits. Yeah, and I'm not talking about people that study music and they actually like learn music, like myself, who, you know, not only do I read music, I play instruments, and, you know, you learn about production, you learn about the music business. And why am I saying this? Because initially rap was a gift from the Panatharu to the young people to spread the doctrine of Wu-Sabat, because they could, as they call the young people say, spit very quickly. And there's a big difference between hip hop and rap. Yeah, so he talked about, you know, how going into that world, we were running out of time, so young people could actually use that method to get information out. And he was talking about how the devil was after the children, especially the children in the community that were being groomed to be the pure 144,000. Now, if you go and listen to the video, I think it's People of the Sun or the Elohim, he was explaining there that the devil is after those children because they've been groomed and protected within the community. And he said that, he talked about people like, you know, like Michael Jackson and the Pied Piper, saying that, you know, if you look at Tubal Cain, the picture of Tubal Cain in the Holy Tablets, it looks like Quincy Jones. I always said that when I saw it. But then when you start to break it down and look at like what happened to Michael Jackson, how he went from being a pure Nagaru with an afro or a crown, big nose, big mouth, dark complexion, big lips, etc. Right? He transformed when he did the Thriller album. If you remember, if you study him, it was through the Thriller album, you know, with Quincy Jones, where, you know, he did the whole thing of coming out of the, you know, like the zombies and all of that. And then you start to look at the music industry, you start to see that once those 6 ether forces, those ghost forces took over, we can now start going back and look at the fact that the master teacher, this is another prophecy that he made a long time ago. You look at the music business now, you look at R. Kelly and what happened with him. And remember, R. Kelly used to call himself the Pied Piper. So I'm talking about how the music industry would lead people, yeah, astray. We look at Puffy, Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, Baba said on a recording that these guys, they watch the movies with real Italian gangsters, you know, like Al Capone and those guys. And then they thought they were real gangsters and ended up dressing like them in their music videos. And before you know it, they ended up being played by, you know, the documentaries now talking about how it was a setup by the FBI agents and other people, and they ended up really unaliving each other. Then you got the gangs like the Bloods and the Cribs and the East Coast against the West Coast. And you remember, don't forget, you had people like Junior Mafia with the whole Little Kim situation, where the master teacher didn't want to fund, didn't want to fund that type of music. And this is how it ended up with the conspirators in, I think, South Beach, Florida, where they came up with the conspiracy, and what happened, that ended up with the master teacher getting locked up. So we really need to stop the nonsense with the rap stuff and all of that, because it's not in order, yeah? Look at the music industry today. It's literally the devil's playground. And he said they removed our voices from our talent who used to actually sing proper music. You can go on and look at the list from your James Brown to Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Angie Stone recently, D'Angelo, and the list goes on and on in the music industry. So that's so significant because when you really study music and listen to what the master's teaching, we have an actual fact. DNA, tones, vibration, frequencies, that's not probably the verbatim, the title, but that deals with tones, vibrations, and frequencies. Yeah, so these are all things that are used to get people to fall under 6 ether forces. So we have to recreate all the music. Yeah, we have to come up with our own stuff. Like the master says, give it all back. And I'm not saying all of this to say that you shouldn't do music, but there's a particular way to do music. It's not just about making music and making videos and talking about your brother and, you know what I'm saying, but a real brother in our tribe, in our culture, is in the brotherhood and they're in order. Yeah, that's where you really have your brother's back. And if you are for real, because Patarak Sabian or Nuwapu man tells us to what? To be in the blue house, to be in the lodge of Parnabab Yanun. So, you know, like you can't just be talking brotherhood, it's got to be real. Okay? And some people, unfortunately, didn't have the opportunity to get into the brotherhood through no fault of their own, because they may be new and so on and so forth. But keep knocking. Like we say, ask, seek, and knock, and you shall, you know, you shall receive. And you have those that had the opportunity, but they chose not to. Like I was saying before, we have a lot of young people that we're very proud of that are now the brothers that have stayed in the community, and they're now the ones that are going to take our tribe to the next level. These are very intelligent people, you know what I'm saying? And they're about representing the master teacher and our culture, okay? They're Sabian and Nuwapian men, and they follow Patarak. Not the ones that feel entitled, they're reckless, you know, they have no respect for their elders, or the master teacher, or the tribe for that matter. A lot of them they're dealing with a lot of ego and don't know what real Ashuk really is, yeah? And some of them, like I said, they left the community, they wanted to go out into dunya, and a lot of these people were in nappies, or what you guys may call diapers, when we were around the master teacher and the master teaching us, and they lack a lot of wisdom, you know. See, there's a difference for newcomers. We teach all the time that there's right knowledge, right wisdom, and the right understanding that leads you to sound right reasoning, so that you know how to reason and how to act. When you lack wisdom, you can have a knowledge. Everybody can get knowledge, read 1,000,000 books, but the wisdom, as the master taught us, is how do you act? How do you behave? How do you know when to fold and when not to? You know, how do you know how to check your egos and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? It's not about just like I said, feeling entitled, becoming what I refer to as internet gangsters, hiding behind devices. Real gangsters move with QDG. If you don't know what that is, you are quietly, and you move with dignity, and you move with grace. You don't just jump on the internet and start running up your mouth. You know, it's like you give a monkey a stage and that monkey will actually perform. And honestly, these types of things are just distractions, and only time will tell who's telling the truth, because the truth has no allegiance to anyone. That's why one of the master's favorite sayings is truth is truth. Yeah, because he says when the truth comes, all false things will perish. So all you have to do is wait, and time will tell. The master told us this years ago when we were answers, and we used to go out in our whites and teaching, and you know, the Orthodox, so-called Orthodox Sunni Muslims will come and try and attack us, or other organizations. When the master was trying to help and liberate them, he said, just move out of the way. Don't fight, don't get involved, because you know why? Because you have the truth. And all you have to do is leave it to time and nature would take care of it. And Lord and behold, we're back in that time period now where we are the only organization really still standing from back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And we're still here trying to liberate, help people with the right knowledge and the right understanding. We're not here, we don't deal with like racism, we just deal with the facts. We teach the truth because the truth is what will make you free. Okay, so, you know, we got better things to do as the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, and we're still trying to bring the whole world together, regardless whether you're Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a regular person, an atheist. Doesn't matter who you are, because you have to contend with the truth. So yeah, we don't really promote that type of division and everything. That's what's current right now. So, you know, people who are on that, they really got to check themselves before they wreck themselves and literally phase out with this 6,000 years that's come to an end, the removal of 6 ether forces. So we are here as Nuwapians, Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews, and any other title that we've had over the years. We stand by them and we still use them. So yeah, we're ready to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, you know what to do. You can call in, right? You can send a voice message. And yeah, we're here to take your question. I want to just acknowledge Seket Ra for your donation. Thank you so much. And I'm going to take your question. It says, when we gather, he is here. Let's commune to free our master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z.K. Yorpana Babianon. And that's what it's about. That's what really matters. But yeah, let's take the first caller. Rahubat. Caller, what's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question, please?
Sakan, can you hear me?
Tua, Rahubat, I can hear you.
Rahubat, Sakan, this is Seven. How have you been?
Doing my best, Zamatat. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so, I can never catch you guys live. I snuck on right now because my lunch break got changed at work. But just a few things I want to say. First off, I want to say happy early birthday to the master teacher.
Tua.
I know it was on the 26th. He'll be 81 years old. So just want to say that. And one more thing. So you've been talking a lot about speaking in tongues lately.
Yeah.
Did you see on YouTube this lady, she's rapping in tongues?
No, I haven't. That would be good to see. The right tones, I hope. But yes, if you can send it to us, I'll have a look
That's
at it. I haven't seen
hilarious.
it.
I will send it to you guys. I was like, I wonder if he saw that because all the people they invoking, oh, goodness.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But I'll let you go, Sakin. It was so good talking to you guys. I'm tuned in with my earpiece in at work. So
Thank you. Tawat.
thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye
so
now.
yeah, we're coming up to the 26th, which is 26th of June, which is our new year, and our master teacher, Pana Babianun's birthday. And it is sad and bitter at the same time because we always anticipate having him home on his birthday. That's what I'm saying, like, instead of us focusing and doing what he has asked us to do to bring him home, you know, which is really unite. You know, those who are doing it are doing it. Those who don't, they're not going to do it. But yeah, thank you for that. And yes, I'll look out for that rapper. Another caller, Rahubat. Caller, Rahubat. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's your question, please?
My name is Kiris Muir from Jamaica.
Greetings, Kiris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so when I was thinking about the question I asked you about dark-skinned Negroid beings ruling a large portion of this universe, it got me thinking that, well, I know that the light-skinned, blonde-haired people known as the Pleiadians, they have power and influence in a large portion of this universe as well. That's why they're a part of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So can you tell me more about it? What is the Pleiadians' role? What are the role of these light-skinned, blonde-haired beings in the Galactic Federation?
Okay, yeah. So I would encourage you to not like make statements as you're asking a question, because sometimes you may give out misinformation. The reality is that we live in a cosmos, and with many different beings in different galaxies and so forth. Yes, we may not know them personally, unless you've kind of like had, visions, or you've done travelings, remote viewing, and those kind of things. So a lot of what we learn and study and know about things to do with the Galactic Federation and extraterrestrials and stuff like that, unless you've had your own personal experience, which some of us have, we speak on what the Master Teacher, Panda Babylon, teaches us. And so if you read books like The Man from Planet Risk, and you read books like the Akasha Records, these are actual fact Akasha Records, he explains that you have different galaxies and you have representatives from the different galaxies that sit around to make decisions on many things to do with different planets and different galaxies and things like that. So when you're talking about the Pleiadians, we learn that these beings were originally grafted, they like from different places like Arcturus, and they were being eaten by the Draconians. Okay, and the Draconians are different species of reptilians, and they basically, their nature is you have agreeable and you have disagreeable, and they basically, the disagreeable ones, they travel to different planets, different galaxies, causing a lot of destruction and havoc. And like you say, our elders, our family, the Natharu, okay, the overseers, they are like the guardians, not just the guardians of the universe, but they're the guardians that keep things in order. So wherever there's chaos, they have a duty to try and bring it into order. So if there's too much chaos, like the planet we're on right now, for years there was a lot of chaos that was caused by the beings that are the offspring of these Pleiadians and the disagreeable Anunnaki, who grafted them, because the Pleiadians made a plea, as I said, to not be eaten by these Draconians. So they were given that leave to basically create a different food source. And so that's how the Adamites came about, by using their genetics, and they became their overlords. And so when you say what is their purpose, a lot of that is to create chaos. They do pass themselves off and try to come as beings of light and say they mean well. But we also been taught by the Master Teacher that ultimately they have an ulterior motive, and a lot of it is sometimes to take beings for food. So because they're responsible for these Adamites, and they're pretty much responsible for a lot of the chaos, the six ether forces on the planet, they're being removed. And it's ironic, as you said, that with the Master Teacher telling us and teaching about extraterrestrials back in the 60s, 70s, like he came saying, as we always say, that from the jump that he was an extraterrestrial from the planet Risk, and that his purpose for coming here is to do a job, and that is to remove these six ether forces that are causing the chaos on this planet. And those beings were responsible for like utilizing a tool such as religion and Leviathan and all these like Kingu, and it's a spell of amnesia, spell of making people forget and removing their ability to remember who they are and to contact higher beings and access higher knowledge. So by maiming the barothry gland that we once had. So so he's one of those beings that they know who he is as Yanun, as the 19th elder of the 24 elders, and that his job is here to bring about this new change, the new cycle, which many people speak about, referred to as the Aquarian age or the sun cycle, and that you can find all of these prophesied in the religious books as well, because a lot of them are actually copied from older books. But Malachi 4:2 talks about the coming of the Son of Righteousness with healing in his wings, and so yes, so his job is to come and remove these forces. And even in the book of Revelations, they speak about in places of power, principalities of darkness, and they do a lot of wicked, what we would say wicked and weak things. So not obviously we can't just say that every single one, because there's some agreeable as well, and there's some disagreeable in every species of extraterrestrials. So yeah, so like the United Nations, it's like here on the planet we have different countries, and they can war with each other, because one being might be like, I'm going to go over to your country and take over your resources. So what they had to do eventually through setting up the United Nations was to have different representatives from different countries that try to deal with conflict resolution in a mature, respectful way. So you have a round table of different beings from different countries and try to reach an amicable resolution to problems. But as you're seeing, if someone becomes too powerful within that United Nations, and that means they're no longer as united, because someone can start to act unilaterally and act like they are more dominant or have the autonomy than everyone else, because maybe they have more money or more resources, and they can just go into another country and take their resources, and the whole world is not as effective anymore. Where before, the United Nations will be like, you have alliances and people will be like, we don't agree with that. It's going on right now when you look at the wars, Ukraine and Russia, and you look at Palestine, and you look at what's going on in Gaza and, Israel. And like these conflicts have been going on for a very, very long time. And the United Nations and these types of bodies have tried to resolve them, but it seems to be escalating. You've got the UK, they're standing off, they don't want to get involved. You've had Pakistan and India. So now on the planet, there are many, many conflicts going on, but that's also part of this removal of, the Adamites on the planet, because they've been judged and their time is up. And so you're going to see all these conflicts before we get to a resolution. And what we, as you said, when they've released these UFO files, the master disclosed from 1945 about extraterrestrials. And we had to wait till now, 2026, for the rest of the world to catch up. And now there's time to tell you about these extraterrestrials. They've only given you 4, right, so far by way of the files, as in the Greys, but which are really the Ramadians. And you read any of those books I've mentioned, like the master put out many years ago, Are there UFOs in your midst? Yeah, Mystery Clouds, Mission Earth and the extraterrestrial involvement, Extraterrestrials and Creation, Is God an Extraterrestrial? The Man from Planet Risk, My Brother the Extraterrestrial. The list goes on and on and on. So he has addressed the subject of extraterrestrials extensively, more than anyone else. So they've given you 4, but they never show or mention, as you say, our ancestors, right? Who some talk about when they have, astral projections, or they have visions, or they remote view, and all these methods that many people can tell you are real, that they've actually come across tall black aliens. Obviously the Anunnaki are depicted with brown skin. So eventually they're going to have to do the full disclosure. Disclosure has only just started, and the movie Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg is out now, and they show you the grey in that movie mainly because these four are the most popular ones that people have encounters with. You know, you have many encounters, close encounters of the first kind, the second kind, the third kind, fourth kind, you know. So disclosure is just beginning. So you will get to know, like when we say we are extraterrestrials, every being on the planet has an extraterrestrial involvement. Hence the name planet, Plan ET, it's an extraterrestrial planet. And we being the first, all right, our DNA goes back to our ancestors, you know, from, you know, as I said, from Riskians all the way to Orion, Sirius, and then you have Pleiadians, you have, you know, who are related to, as I said, the Nordics. You have so many beings like the Dogon spoke about. Everyone speaks about their lineage going back to aliens, or they're coming from the skies. You know, the Zoroastrians, the Mayans, the Egyptians, of course, the Anunnaki with the Sumerians. You know, you can go and do your own research, and there are many writings on the walls, many artifacts and buildings, projects that have been abandoned. So many things on the planet that are starting to be disclosed, but the master teacher has always been on the forefront of everything to do with extraterrestrials. So I gave you a lot, and I hope that's actually helped you. But if not, let me know and I can expound.
Okay. So my other question is, in the Illuminati secret covenant, they said that when people in society fight against each other, the Freemasons will emerge as their conquerors from their conflict with each other. So basically, it's like the more people fight each other, they weaken their ability to combine and resist the people who are in charge. So since us black people and white people, so to speak, are being oppressed by these Freemasons, doesn't it make sense that we put aside our differences to unite so that we can properly resist these people that have power over us currently? And I'm not talking about we're going to team up with the racist set, but I mean, not all white people are bad, and there's a strength in numbers. So don't you agree with this argument?
Chris, you really got to learn to ask questions properly, because you give a lot of statements and then you say,
yes,
you agree
I'm
with
sorry.
this. It's like you're leading me, but I can make sense of your question. This black and white people, we keep telling, I know it's the programming, and these are labels that cause divisions. And as you say, the chaotic beings that have enforced the spell of Leviathan by way of the Luciferian conspiracy and many aspects of that, right? Leviathan is used in many ways. So yes, the tool is divide and conquer, right? So yes, they use tools like divisions and racism and setting people against each other and religions, and that's what religion does. Most of religions are based on a group of people that think they're better than everybody else, and that, you know, if you don't belong to our club and believe as we believe, then you're an enemy to us, you're against us. I mentioned some of the wars that are going on right now. These are mostly based on religious conflicts that have been going on for years over territory, over people trying to claim they're the chosen people. And so you look at religion and look at each one of these major monotheistic religions, right? The facts are that they just have so many divisions, so many denominations, that they fight against each other. And these conflicts are all by design by these extraterrestrials and their minions that are using like the tool of religion. There's a religion in a beautiful, that's a beautiful way, in terms of, there's actually a Patarak that the masters put out. I can't remember the full title. I could probably look it up, but it's talking about the fact that everyone in their religion, that is for them, if they live in a peaceful life and trying to apply it to the best of their ability, because originally it was right to help to tame these barbaric behaviors, and so it then gravitated into something completely different that you're seeing today, where it's about, like I said, conflicts and wars. So the tool of divide and conquer, even with us as a people, as you say, of African descent, right? They will say that Africa was once one land, but then it got divided. The word Africa does come from like what they did to it, which was to divide it, from the word farka or Afrika, which was to divide it by way of like the Berlin Conference. All these things you can go and research to make people think that they were different from each other. So, you know, you have different like Ghanaian, Nigerian, Somalian, this and that, and you believe that you're different, even though you are related by DNA. So yes, what you're calling not all Freemasons are bad. That's what I'm saying. The original way of life, the original Egyptian Masonic order was not bad. This is where all the knowledge and the secrets of how the architecture of the pyramids was built and how the civilization and the way of life that was then taught to everybody else came from. And when you're saying a Mason, people that work with stone, masonry for building, but there's different types of building. There's spiritual building and there's physical building. So when you start to look at the secrets, the original, our ancestors that brought that way of life to this planet were not disagreeable. They then taught, okay, the Adamites, and then they took the 3 degrees that were conveyed to them, they took it back and perverted it, because this is what they do. They take evil, or they take good and make it evil. I said they will make evil fair seeming. So they started to introduce other things, other like, you know, blood sacrifices and all types of rituals that perverted and changed it into sixth ether. And yes, so those that are ruling, they're part of this Luciferian order, and they have a conspiracy. And this conspiracy goes into what people know as maybe the New World Order. It's a new world, but not in the order that they're trying to put across. So the new world is changing, and that's why, like I said, nature is really in control. And if you're not in tune with nature, nature is doing its thing to also remove 6 ether forces off the planet. And so, yes, you're right that we have to unite. This is what I started off saying. This is what a master teacher has always taught us. And when you look on our website, it says no one wins the race in racism. We're here to uplift humanity, okay, with truth. Because truth is the only thing that everyone can relate to and everyone wants. Nobody really wants chaos and divisions and wars and, you know, all that negative stuff, because it just creates an unpleasant lifestyle and a way of life that is not conducive. Our way of life is wu-nuwapu, yeah, which is it's the peaceful way. And we share that and want to share that with everybody. We've always been a peaceful people. And no matter what we've faced, no matter what adversity we've faced, we always rise. And it's our time, because it's our time to rule for the next 24,000 years of the sun cycle. And so we want to bring peace to the planet. We want to uplift humanity, and that's what we're doing. And anyone that wants to help is welcome. And like you say, there's a lot of mixtures now. People have mixed their DNA. Not everyone is an Adamite. So when we use terms like white, it's a generic term. When we use words like black, is a generic term, because it's not based on your skin color. Like even Martin Luther King said it. You judge a man by the contents of their character, not the color of their skin. You see, so that skin and white and black and all those divisions, those are fading, because many people across the globe are waking up and realizing that it's just a small group, the top, yeah? Because when you look at that pyramid structure, yeah, it's dealing with what you're saying about the Illuminati. It's only, there's like you see, there's only a few people, the richest families in the world and the ones that have money and influence, that are trying to control the masses. So by waking up and realizing your power as God, like the real true God and goddesses, because they teach you about God, but they make this God seem like he's basically not tangible, yeah? Because, but if you use your mind and you start to go, okay, does it make sense? Is there a place called heaven that God is in, sitting on a throne? It makes no sense, because like, is he just flying around in space, sitting in one chair, or is it a house? And if it's a house, think about yourself. You don't have one chair in your whole house. You have other furniture, right? And if you're sitting down, do you sit forever, or do you get up? Because if you don't get up, it makes no sense. And if you have a chair and you're in a house, you're going to have other furniture. Do you have a bed? Do you get up to stretch and lie in the bed? Do you eat? Do you go to toilet? Because if you're sitting down, that means you've got a rear, right? A behind. And if you have that, then you're going to have legs that are attached to that, because you can't just sit without a form. Okay, so if you have the legs and the behind, you're going to have a torso, you're going to have your hands, you're going to have eyes, you're going to be, and you start reading and you see like this is a person, but they just make him, or we say him, again, it's a spook. So we say you are the God that you're looking for, and you have to look internally, look within yourself first to recognize that being, and then you do great things. Because I'm about to go to the next question in the chat, which ties into this question. But yeah, it is about love and unity for those who really want to see that change. You have to be the change that you're looking for. Don't expect someone else to do it, because then you become a believer. You're believing and expecting someone else to come and do what you can do for yourself. And collectively, we do have the power. So the masses have to wake up, and there is a conscious shift, because as nature changes, as these new, we call it, what we call the cycle of Ptah. These are ancient beings that are coming back around, and they are able to wake up or put enough energy by way of like Pana Babylon, whose voice and tones, yeah, again, we're talking about tones. Tones are vibrations, frequencies. They can affect you and wake you up from that slumber, that sleep that you've been in amnesia for the last 6,000 years. And specifically for the Negroids, the last 400 years, not 430 years, because some people mix up those two, the prophecies of the Israelites and all of that, which is 430 years. We're talking about the 400 years from the 1600, the last slave trade, or what they call slave trade, to the year 2000. That's 400 years. That's the end of the moon cycle of the last 6,000 years. So we're in a different day and time. And you're gonna just wake up, the spirit, as people say, or you get touched and you just wake up. You can just wake up one day and know that something doesn't feel right. The world is not right. I want to start changing. And that's where you start cleaning up yourself inside out, because all the filth and the things we've been eating and the things we've been doing are part of that spell that holds you down from recognizing your true nature as what we say. Even the word God is a supreme being. The Nagarus are supreme beings. Like, you got to wake up and start to act right and do right. And then you recognize the differences for those who are continuously pushing six ether forces, the way they think, because the way they think relates to the way they act, and the things you put in your body, and the behavior, and the, like I was saying before, like vulgarity and all that kind of like chaos. No one's interested in that. Patarak is about peace. You know, it's the peaceful way. It's about humanity coming together so we can make that difference. But I'm going to take other questions. Does that help?
Yes, I'm just going to say that though, I'll word my questions better next time. Sorry for the mix-up.
It's all right. I know you're trying to, as you're trying to formulate it, you know, you're trying to get it out. But yeah, if you just write them down, you know, and that's important, because English, again, is part of the spell, but they give you, you know, symbols like a question mark, which means a question. How is this? Question mark. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I look forward to your questions being more succinct next week. All right? Tawat.
All right, later.
Okay, so I said it was tying into the first question we have on the chat in YouTube. Ray Car
TikTok style.
Oh, you might have to turn the volume down. So the question is, I asked this question on IG. Why only knowledge of growth? Why not knowledge of electricity and knowledge of how to give free or use free energy? I said my last comment to the brother ties into this question because it's not about just waiting for someone else to do things for you to just get free energy, right? The knowledge that you get, like, this has already been done. People like Nikola Tesla was already doing these things, like tapping into and letting people know that you can get free energy. It was suppressed by those Luciferians that everything is about control and money and holding people down. So why I say, you being that god or goddess, you'll have to tap into your potential. You do something, you come up with something for humanity. Like the knowledge that the master teacher gives you, the master teacher gives you the knowledge to empower you to be the highest you can be. Like, he's here, he's a supreme being, he's mastered things, and he wants you to be a part of that and master things yourself, both your spiritual being and your physical being. So you should be able to tap into the knowledge. It's like you hear the phrase, you feed a man for the first day, you have they rely on you forever. I'm not saying it verbatim, but you teach them how to fish, they can then fish and support themselves. So yeah, you have to learn what is your purpose, what is collectively our purpose. Different people have different gifts. So yeah, it's not about just sitting back and saying he's going to come and give you free knowledge of electricity. That's already been done. What he's giving you is even beyond that. He's giving you the secrets of the universe and how to get out of here and to be the best that you can be, if I can put it that way. Do we have a caller? Okay, go for it.
My name is Poe. Good day to you, my sisters and brothers, and I just want to thank you for all your teachings and all the time that you're taking out for us. My question is, how and why do I work with synchronicities? For example, I see 144, 111, 222, and I know they are significant during certain times, during certain thoughts, actions, whatever's going on in the moment. But I just want to know, like, how and why do I work with them? And a little second part of that question is, does seeing 144 or 441 constantly mean that we are part of the 144? Much peace. And again, thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah, we have this question come up many, many times, and we explain that it's for you. You have to honestly figure it out. I was getting those numbers, but what I do know, just by like how many times we've been asked these questions, and since when I started getting those numbers and other people started getting it, is that it's been progressively getting more and more recently. And it could be synchronicity for a message or something for you. I've known other people who have actually figured out some of it for themselves. But really, I'm not going to speculate and say to you that, yeah, the 144 means you're part of the 144,000, because we've not been taught that. These are the types of questions, I guess, if we have the opportunity to ask the master teacher, we can. But some people, what they do is write them down and see if there's a pattern of some sort. You may be being communicated to, like someone I know has figured it out to the point where it was like, actually even like when they look back, over like historical, their numbers were matching up to like lottery numbers or something. This is what they showed me and explained to me, but I'm not saying that's going to be the case for everyone. What I am saying is that there may be a meaning for you to decipher and for you to work out. There may be a global thing happening, phenomena or communication because the world mathematics is based on mathematics. But I don't know for sure that everyone's numbers or series of numbers or combinations that they're getting. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I do. I would say whenever you get them, write them down, get a book and write them down and try and see if you can figure it out for yourself. But I did hear a brother break it down once, saying that it is synchronicity. It is something to do with the collective consciousness, because, you know, the more we collectively see something, or, you know, if you go on the internet and Google it, you're going to hear about, oh, these are angel numbers. This means this, this means that. People try to, you know what I mean, decipher the numbers, because numbers do have mathematical properties with it. Like, you know, we speak about 9 a lot. We talk about 9 ether. We spoke about, you know, certain books like the number 19 over the Quran. We talk about the number 7 over the Bible. So when you start to break down words, all right, each word in the Strong's Concordance has numbers. So I'm saying there is a lot of mathematics when you're dealing with numbers that correlate with many things. But unless you know for sure what it is and how it relates, even if you look at, you know, the Matrix, right, the movie, they start off showing you the zeros and one, which is binary, but we are operating in base 10, and the whole number system, you know, like I said, it's again still based on programming. And as time goes on, we may, you know, collectively, because our minds are all focused on something, we may be manifesting these things, right? Because how is it anyone can tell you, like, when you Google it on, you know, on the internet, like, yeah, that's an angel number and it means this and it means that. You know, they really can't say that. The same thing will apply to every person on the planet that sees that same number. So I do hope that helps. Was there a second part to that? No, that was it. Okay, let's go to the next question. Seki Juju, freedom for the master teacher. Absolutely, that's what we've got to focus our energy on. Yeah, it's not just talking about it. You know, he tells and gives us things to do. And instead of people tripping over him, causing chaos, like he said, like, Pops knows what he's doing. You know, a lot of the times you just go follow instructions and follow directives. So don't, because you don't know what's going on, because you may not be in certain circles and you absolutely don't know what's going on, doesn't mean that nothing is going on. And pointing the fingers at other people and saying, why haven't you freed him? Well, I can say the same thing back to you. Why haven't you freed him? So since everyone else is doing everything wrong and you can do it, why haven't you done it? You know, because it's a collective thing. We have to come together, unite, and fight the fight together. You know, deal with the injustice, deal with, you know what I mean, the misinformation, the lies, the, you know, the propaganda, everything that comes along with this. Let the world know of his innocence. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, free the master teacher, and we're going to keep doing it. And those who want to help, you know what to do. You know, let us know. How can you help? We have many areas you can help in. So let's not just say the words, free the master teacher, free the master teacher. We need to free the master teacher. Yeah, and another thing, we can't just focus on one thing. We are a nation. We're dispersed. We have many things we need to fight at the same time. So, you know, you can separate and have different people, you know, focusing on different things. We can't just all focus on the one thing. All right. So, yeah, appreciate, love you for saying that, reminding everyone it is about freeing the master. Welcome to all the new people that are joining. Maria Rahubat, Draco Rahubat, Kat Lazio Rahubat, Goddess in the Flesh Rahubat. Yeah, Rahubat to everyone that's joining. Fab Solar Rahubat. Yeah, Exploring Wellness Rahubat. How can one identify original thought? That's a great question. This is something the master taught us, that how you can identify an original thought is if that thought means well by everyone. I know it might sound a little bit confusing at first, like you've got to monitor your thoughts. This is why meditation and all of these practices are necessary, so that you can silence the mind and be able to actually know which thoughts are yours, because you hear the inner voices and you will silence those voices that are trying to influence you to do disagreeable things. So if, for example, even manifestation, it's like you can have a thought that you want to do something positive, all right? Or you set out on your way to do something positive, and you could get distracted and you end up doing something else, right? So you got to read the Black Devil's book, right? And read Where and What and Where is Hell, because all of these things are talking about the influences, the disagreeable influences that can change your mind at any given second. So you have to monitor your thoughts, and if that thought and you want to manifest something, it's aligned with the greater good for humanity. It's not based on selfishness, me, myself, and I. Not saying that you shouldn't achieve or have objectives and goals for yourself, but you will start to learn the thoughts that you're getting, that are your ancestors, that are trying to influence you in a disagreeable way, and the ones that are trying to influence you in a positive way. But with practice, you've got to learn to hear your own voice, because your own voice is the one that's usually telling you the right thing to do. And then you get the distraction, or you get some other being that sends you a different thought, and before you know it, in that split second, you've changed your mind and you're doing something else completely different to what you set out to do. Do we have a voicemail? Let's go for it.
Hello, my name is Araceli. I'm from the United States, Florida specifically, and I grew up watching a lot of space launches because it's not too far from where I live. However, I just wanted to know if the firmament is a real thing, because apparently, according to the Bible I grew up reading, which is edited now, it appears not to be penetratable. So are we really going to space? Is this just an illusion? Thank you for your time.
Tua, na uchakal. No problem. Okay, we've broken this down many times, and we've explained that the planet Earth is quarantined, meaning that if it was that easy to get out, so certain beings are quarantined there, they're not allowed to leave and will never be able to leave. And yes, there are spheres, and there are what people refer to as the firmament, and but there is a way out if you know how, right? So you can open portals, for example. The master teacher Partner Babyanun has taught us that portals open to let beings out, souls that are leaving, but unfortunately at the same time, beings come in that they're not supposed to. It's like any immigration control, like, you know, with the boats, or if you know how to get to a place where you can cross over to another country, you know the way, right? And people and organizations such as CERN have been carrying out experiments, and when again we've been taught that they've been able to tear a fabric of time, you know, space, and shadow beings are coming through. So what I'm basically saying is that certain people are not able to get out of there, and unless they've been allowed to or given leave to get out, to just bring about something for the benefit of proving or like humanity getting to know certain things. So, for example, they may be allowed out to go to Mars and take, like, or the satellites that go and take pictures and to prove that what the master teacher has been teaching for years. Like, if you read the Holy Tablets, he was the first person talking about the face on Mars, talking about water, talking about the Anunnaki with the whole, you know, story of Alalu with Anu, and how he went over there and, you know, build structures, and his wife's face and his face are the faces that you see on there. So I'm saying there are instances and times where that is possible, but then there are times where no matter what they do, no matter how they try, they can't get out. And you have to use your own mind as well. You have to be able to discern. Like, for example, when they say they went to the moon, that's been debunked. I'm talking about the first time, right? Because people were like studying the footage and studying everything and saying like, it makes no sense. Like the gravity, the shadows, the fact that somebody was already there to film them coming and somebody was there left behind to film them taking off. The whole thing about combustion engines, the fact that the president was ringing on a telephone, an analog telephone, speaking to people, like that's been debunked. So the second time around now, of course, what do they say? This time we're not going to go there. We're going to just fly past, right? Because of course, if you've debunked it the first time around, the second time, you got to figure it out, right? We can't do that again because we can't build a whole set like we were taught. The same set was used in the movie Moonraker, the James Bond movie. Go and watch that movie. Now look at the set and look at what has been debunked with the going to the whole moon thing. The technology wasn't available to be able to break through the different spheres and get out of here. Even with this one, the second one, people have debunked it. They show you, you know, they show you so many things. They show you actually going up and then curling and going, the trajectory goes that way. So I'm saying like, just using your own common sense, which is very uncommon these days, you can decipher things. But as to get the actual facts, this is again something that we would need to, you know, wait and get more information from the master teacher, Partner Babyanun, because, you know, he knows. If there's anybody on the planet that knows, it's him. Yeah, so without a shadow of a doubt, we will get that information. But yeah, in the meantime, like I know from what he has taught by way of the books, the scrolls, that some people are not allowed to leave here and they've been quarantined here and they will never get out, no matter where they go, because it's extinction time, you know, for the Adamites. So yeah, was there a second part? No, that was it. Okay, let's get back to the chat. Okay, so I covered that question about the thought. So we got Keith Albina 6445. Rahubat Zamal Saken, question. I want to ask, what is all the fuss about with tribal members? Like phase one from outside views, it looks very confusing. This is what I was kind of like saying at the beginning, that, you know, what the master teacher wants right now for any of the people that were on any of the worldwide conference calls, he wants us to come together in unity, and to put that energy into fighting the real enemies that have put him there, you know, like not against each other. And chaos and confusion always comes about whenever we're actually at that point. We're very close for his imminent return. It's not really outside people that create the chaos. It's always within. It's always our own. You know, we can go back and name many people. I only mentioned that name because you put it in the question, and I'm just reading the questions as I do with all questions. But honestly, we don't have time for that type of chaos. So I'm not going to give it too much airtime, but it's all about unity. It's all about us coming together. Anyone can make an accusation and point fingers to anyone, right? But the same way you're requesting like evidence or whatever, you also have to be put under that same scrutiny and position, like provide evidence on what you're making claims about. We ain't got time for the confusion, as you say, right? So we've got a caller. Rahubat, caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question, please?
Rahubat, this is Gab calling from London, Sky Eagle Media.
Rahubat, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Go for it.
My question is, you know, in this Bible, it talks about the tree of knowledge and the tree of life.
Yeah.
So why didn't Satan or the devil directed Eve to take on to the tree of life instead of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, because obviously you're going to live forever. So why, at the end of that, when they were kicked out after taking the tree of knowledge, they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and towards the east of the Garden of Eden, a flaming sword, was put there, whirling swords with flaming fire, so that no one can get access to the tree of life. So why did it God not, or whatever happened, Satan or whatever, didn't let them go to the tree of life so that human beings will live forever? Why did they go to the tree of knowledge instead of the tree of life?
I got you. All right. Thank you for your question. The thing when people ask these type of questions is that the first thing is you have to hold this God accountable. Like, why did he even create that whole situation? The fact that you're even reading a book and not realizing that once you're reading the book, you're being controlled by a puppet master that put the book together. That makes no sense. So what I'm saying is a lot of the time we have to step backwards before we get into what's in the book and arguing amongst us and like trying to break it down and decipher it. It's like, why did God even put that whole situation in place? And it's like the knowledge is to tell you that you can make decisions for yourself, right? Because to know good from evil means that you now have to use your own mind to work it out. But the thing is, the question's like, why didn't he just make everything good? Why put a tree to test anyone?
Exactly.
Why create a sword in the first place? That's the first time you're dealing with like violence.
Exactly.
Why create all these scenarios that are gonna lead people astray and then punish everyone that did what you knew they were going to do in the first place? The whole concept of the devil makes no sense. Why even create a devil? And then when we ask basic questions like that, like who is more powerful, God or the devil? You know, people say God, and you say, well, if that's the case, God can just get rid of the devil. God can get rid of all the problems on the planet, because you all making the religious people in these books that push these books, they make him sound like he knows everything, he's almighty. And then when you put them in a situation where they can't address the stuff that don't make sense, they just say, well, it's up to him, he can do anything whenever he wants. And that makes no sense, because I remember asking someone that first of all says they're not Christian, but then they say they're defending the Bible. And I'm like, okay, let's read it. We start from the cover. The cover makes no sense because Genesis doesn't mean the beginning. You get into the first line, it's like he created the heaven and the earth. And I asked the question, before he created the heaven, because it says in the first line that he created the heavens, then he created the earth. I asked, where was he when he created the heaven? Because if you're claiming that he's not in heaven,
where was he then?
Because where was he? Exactly. And then the answer I received was not giving me a where, because where, what, how, when, these are the words you use to establish and ask questions. Yeah, and then it becomes he's eternal, and it makes no sense, because he is the word eternal. You've never reached eternity, so how can you say or know about eternity? So what it is you start to break the spell by realizing that this is how the spell was put on people, not to use their mind, not to question, because they tell you that to question is blasphemy and you shouldn't do that. You become
because I was trying to figure it out. You know, you have the tree of life and then you have the tree of knowledge. So why did God, have to even do that? If he was God and all knowing, all seeing, all everything, why should we go through that suffering for what? It's just all gimmicks.
Exactly. Because these gods are extraterrestrials that are agreeable, disagreeable, that don't know everything, that make mistakes, that they regret their mistakes. And so that's why when we start saying things like, why do you need sacrifices? Why do you need love? Why do you need anything? Why do you have emotions? How do you grieve for you creating something you knew was going to turn out bad? Why didn't you just make everything perfect if you're so perfect? The reality
Exactly.
is they're not. They're just
I
extraterrestrial
remember
beings.
when I used to be in high school many years ago. I asked one of these Roman Catholic priests. He used to be in the same high school. Well, he said, I asked him a question. He was Irish. He was an Irish man. I asked him a question. He was supposed to be our Bible knowledge teacher. I asked him a question. Why, if it was only Adam and Eve, Cain left on the planet? Because, Cain killed his brother
Yeah.
Abel. So if it was three of them left, how did Cain go to the land of Nod and had a wife there and there were people there? He left the class. This was a priest, was
Yeah.
a white man priest, an Irish priest. Yeah, he left the class. He didn't want to answer the question. Came back and he was smelling alcohol.
Yeah.
He didn't want to answer the question because I asked him a question that he was not expecting.
Right.
So he went to another topic. Imagine, and this is a priest, a Roman Catholic priest. I asked him that question. He left the class immediately and came back smelling wine.
Yeah, because like you said, you hit him in the genes and it was too much.
Yeah. This was many years ago. Many years ago. Yeah, that was in high school.
And
We're doing
that's
our
why
Bible
we're
knowledge
here.
class.
That's why Partner Babianoon is here, because he's here to basically give you truth,
Yeah.
and that's what's
what
gonna.
that means. He knows about it. They know, because he cannot just leave the class and then went to a different question. He never answered that.
Yeah, and that's
They
the
knew.
reality that we're actually exposed. It's a year of exposure. It's the year of disclosure. It's the year of truth, and that's what we need to do: spread truth, because the
That's
truth
right.
will make you free. And like I said, the people that have been controlling the masses and have an agenda to stifle your energies, and that's how they're gonna go, because they're not gonna be able to feed off your energy anymore. You directing your prayers, so-called prayers, to them, and now they have to contend with everything being told, because the prophecy was there that the master teacher will come, and
Exactly.
and he's here.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So yeah.
100%. Because for me, I wanted to know. I wanted to know a lot of things. My parents, my grandparents, they were going to these churches and all Methodists and all. I used to question things.
Yeah.
Question all the time. And people don't like it. When you question, they say, "Oh, you're going too far." They don't want to hear the truth.
That's right.
They
That's
don't
what.
want to hear the truth. Tell them the truth. It's so hard. It's so bitter. They cannot. Stand it. And they cannot tell you you're lying, because they know. This one is tough, boy.
Yeah, and the
that's
thing
how
is,
they behave.
the reality is that they all try to say it's about truth, it's about righteousness, but it's only when they're using it against other people that it's truth. But when you're dealing with, and that not just Christianity, because sometimes it may sound that it's just a lot of people seem to be more Christians, but it's all the religious books. They all try to use that that monopoly to say, we know, we are the ones that are authority, and we're the rabbis, and we everyone else should listen to us, and you can't question them, but the questions will get you to the truth.
Because even in Islam, when I questioned the Muslims, I said, well, if Prophet Muhammad parents, where are they? Because if you commit shirk in Islam, your sins shall never be forgiven.
Yeah.
Because Prophet Muhammad's parents were idol worshippers, so they died, and he was made an orphan.
Yeah.
So Amina and Abdullah and all that. So they were idol worshippers. There were 365 idols they were worshipping. The head of the idol was Alat, a female god deity.
Right.
Goddess.
So it's all in our scrolls, in the holy tablets. The master teacher exposed and broke down everything, because everyone needs to be empowered with the truth now. And
Exactly.
you just got to open your eyes. And the thing is, the
Because
whole thing about the knowledge.
I said to them, how can the prophet of God, parents, the one that gave birth to the prophet, is burning in hellfire? How is that possible? Does that make sense to anyone?
And this is
You know,
again why make a hell in the first place?
exactly,
To
to
torture
burn
people.
forever. How can
Yeah.
you burn for eternity, forever and ever? What kind of a God is that? What kind of you can't even we don't even want to go in there because it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and again, for those who are still in it, we're not trying to, because some people are genuinely sincere, and we're saying to you that, you know, if that's what you choose, that's your choice. We can leave you alone. But if you are sincerely looking for the facts and the truth, then you have to read it, and read it by yourself with your own discernment. Don't just listen and go to sermons and just like clap, sing, dance, go home. Go and read it for yourself and see for yourself.
A lot of them, they're not interested in the truth. They're only interested in what their eating is. Yeah, want to hear. They only want to hear what the preachers or the imams, would tell them. They love those type of things, but they don't want to hear the real truth. They don't want to hear the truth at all. They only love the niceties. They only want to hear about material wealth, all these niceties of the planet Earth, and all these kind of things. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in the truth. When you tell them the truth is bitter, it's like, oh, no, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear this.
Tua.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. All right, I have other questions I'll have to take. So thanks for your call.
Then we'll talk later. Then
no problem. You're welcome anytime.
Thanks talking.
Wadu, yeah. Incognito, I know you're saying that the Michael Jackson thing, like, yeah, we're not saying that, his father wasn't quite, because I saw the recent movie, which obviously doesn't go into great detail, but yeah, I'm not saying that it was duly down to Quincy Jones, but what I'm saying is, yes, he was already a very successful person by that time. But what I'm saying is, if you look at his career from he was a child in the Jackson 5 and all of that, to that point, there was a great transformation from him being the old MJ. And the point the master teacher was making, and what I was making in regard to the music, is that many people get led astray. That's why I mentioned like the Pied Piper, and the whole fact of what the master was explaining to us is that the millions and millions of people that would follow an idol, okay, even though we might spell it as I-D-L-E, it's very phonetically the same as I-D-O-L. So people will follow someone, and he said the many people that were following him, he said doing that, Billie Jean or whatever the famous song was at the time, a lot of people were led astray because not everyone could reach the heights of being as successful as he was. And it's the same, like out of, every 100 people that maybe go to be a sport or football star, or a music star, like chasing a star in Hollywood and all of that, right? It's like the majority of them waste their life because they don't see music is not really supposed to be like a career. It can be a hobby, but you're chasing a dream, you're chasing a star and chasing a thing where you can end up your whole life being wasted. And you could have been a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer or something else. And I'm not saying everyone goes down that way, but when I was talking about rap in particular, not hip hop, not the culture of hip hop, because when you really study music and understand that there is an agenda with it, okay? Because tones, vibrations, and frequencies, music is one of those things. It's a universal language. It's one of those things that it can be used in a negative or positive way. But when you start going into how hip hop became rap, and the whole thing about gangster rap and East Coast versus West Coast, and like I mentioned about the Tupac and Biggie and all of that stuff, if you the gang banging and all the stuff that has come along with it, the master explained that it became like the heavy metal of the black music. Obviously not saying every single person, because there were originally conscious rappers that were pushing out positive messages. You can go back to KRS-One and many people that were pushing positive, and then they changed it when they brought money into it, and those people weren't getting their records played and they weren't getting the deals. There was an agenda behind this, what I'm saying, when it became gangster rap and it turned into people actually, unaliving each other, and a lot of it's profanity and vulgarity. It's just like, no, that's not what it was meant for. So it actually changed from a positive thing to a negative thing, all right? And I'm just saying, look at the career of Michael Jackson up until the point when he released the Thriller album and what that was all about. I did a video actually explaining that in more detail, so check that out on OSM Vision. Okay, I had there's loads of questions. So have we got a caller? Okay, let's take it, and then I'll come back to the chat.
Rahubat second.
Rahubat.
I have a question. My question is, as a new person coming into the culture, what books do you recommend that we start with as beginners? Because from the looks of things, we can clearly see that things are moving along very quickly. It has me a bit concerned. So I'm just asking, what books would you recommend you start with? Thank you.
Okay, again, this is a very popular question, and we say, look at the books, look at the titles, and look at what jumps at you, what your inner being gravitates to. But there are fundamental books like The Mind, okay, Your Potential. These books get your mind to start to think in a particular way. So those are great books to start with. But of course, we are in the hereafter doctrine. So any of the actual facts, any of the master secrets, any of the Pataruk are all good. In fact, we know every single book is good, but different people come from different walks of life or had different experiences, or they may be interested in a particular subject, because some people might like to read more to get clarification on religions. Some people might want to know more about scientific facts. Some people want to know more about a particular subject like extraterrestrials. So it literally all depends on what your being is gravitating to when you look at the books and the titles. It's good to come and go to the bookstore so that you can look at what books are available and then decide which one you want to start with. But the procrastination of trying to decide which book, it's better to just pick any book, one book, and start reading. And doing that, there's also the energy behind it, like your ancestors or your higher being, will maybe behind like why they want you to read that, because a lot of the times we're here to master and conquer certain things, and so that might be, it's that first book is important because it's normally the one that gives you that beginning, that journey. Like you get DNA explosions and like that begins your journey. Most people will tell you the first book they read, boom, that was it for them. So I would say just pick any book and start. All right. Rahubat caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's your question?
Rahubat Ishapuz from Philadelphia.
Rahubat.
Thank you, brother. Again, I thank all of y'all, family overseas. So want to give y'all, the respect that y'all deserve. And like you said, it's about love, and we got to bring Pa Nabab Yun home. I just got basically one is, well, I don't want to say small. It is small. I have family member that's incarcerated, and I remember, I think you were saying that certain books are banned. So I wanted to, we're trying to spread the knowledge. So I wanted to know what books that you will think that will go through, as far as, because they, books got to be checked in and all that.
I don't recall saying books are banned. So
no, I think you said the mind was. I don't remember. It's my understanding. I overstand.
Oh, maybe I say that some may not be available at the moment, or maybe that's
Yeah.
what I mean. But yeah, the mind is funny because the book, The Mind and Your Potential were books that were being circulated very well in prisons where people were incarcerated, and they were even speaking with the master to roll that book out across, the many prisons, because it was having such a positive impact on inmates. So those books are great, but at the same time, I feel like when it comes to books, I know there are many books you can send to people inside. So I would definitely recommend those two, but any other book as well.
All right, and the last question, it's basically about to help you, like you said, get your temple, your mind, body, and soul together. It's a little challenging for me with this meat. It's really
Right.
challenging, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's challenging for me with cheese, because I love macaroni and cheese, so I can't eat that no more.
Yeah,
And that's
you know what? You actually can. The thing is, for those of us who have walked that walk or on that journey, you can still get the exact same things that you eat, but without the meat. So, for example, we have a sister doing a workshop at the moment teaching people how to transition into plant-based and vegan diets. And like if you have mushrooms, there's certain ways you can actually make the mushrooms so that it helps you to get rid of that meat crave. It may take time for you to wean yourself, and also there are ways you can make cheese that is not dairy based. So what I'm saying is you may just have to have a replacement, because we even in the menu today we had mac and cheese. I didn't go for that. I went for the oyster mushrooms and the lentils.
well,
So
I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, it's about learning how to replace the habits that you're used
Yeah.
to. But yeah, go ahead. You were going to
Because
say
what
something.
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have to, like I said, I've been connected. I'll be getting a whole lot of. You said you want to see everybody with the shirts, so I got a whole lot from you guys now. So I'll be taking the pictures, and I'll connect with that. You said she got mushrooms. Okay.
It's a very small part of that, but it goes into what you're eating, what the end result may become. And when you look at the ailments that people suffer in their older age, it will be due to what they were eating throughout their life. So, like, for example, if you're eating a lot of rice, rice can be, well, as far it's acidic, but it's also got a lot of starch, and that starch turns into sugar, and which is glucose, right? And so a lot of the problems we have is from eating too much salt, too much, most of us are addicted to salt, too much sugar, and too much oil, and of course the dead flesh or acidic things. So Dr. Sebi is a great resource to look to for in terms of nutrition. And so
Yeah.
the master teacher has obviously given us that to look at in terms of diet, but the diagnosis of the races, I'm actually looking for it to see if I've got it, goes into a lot of, you know, why you shouldn't eat certain things. I just gave you rice, I've mentioned sugar, I've mentioned salt, but you also have oil, meats, and
You do,
sorry, go ahead. Oh, here you go.
do you have that? Do you have that book available? Because
We
I will
we
purchase that book.
we don't
Huh?
we don't have it available right now, but I'm sure that there are other stores that have it. But we can make
Yeah.
we can get it we can get it for you if you just contact us. We'll get it to you.
All right. As
Yeah.
again, like I said, thank you. I think last week somebody was saying you get some rest. I'm gonna say it, bro. You know what I mean? It's all of y'all. It ain't just you. All of y'all work hard, man. Get some rest. And coming from me, it sound crazy because I'm working, you know, hard as you know, like we all are, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear
But
you. We do try to we need the
yeah.
rest. Resting is part of, you know, we have to balance everything out. So yeah, we also need to rest. But sometimes when you're passionate about something, you know, you just keep
Hey,
going.
hey, that's a good thing. Well, again, like I said, thank you for everything. I thank everybody. I've been getting help from all around. Like I said, the brothers in New Jersey have been helping me. So I've been doing. You know, I just like I said is you know I told you before. I'm you know I'm coming back. You know, I mean I you know I fell off. I guess you can say that. So I'm coming back. So
That's
you
good.
know you know I'm just taking it. You know as I can you know grab it and get it. So and I will do that. I will seek that book out.
No problem.
All
And
right.
yeah, coming
Thank you
back.
again, brother.
Good.
What up?
Wadu Zama. Yeah, stay focused, man. Okay, we got another voice call. Go for it.
Hello. My question is, what if all of my ancestors were Christians? Do I still follow their advice if ever I would ask for it? Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, the master explained to us, Partner Babyanun, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, that they weren't judged on Wu-Sabat because at the time it wasn't available to them in the same way that it is now. So they would be, if we want to use the word judged, based on their character, based on the way they were, like did they help, were they helpful, did they treat people well? So even within, like, even though we talk about the Bible, the Quran and the religious, you know, the religions of today, there are good people within them too that just don't know the way. And our job is to get it out so everyone has the opportunity. However, they were not judged under the same circumstances. And if they were good people, they were good people. They're your ancestors and they're on the other side and they're trying to help you because you are the, you know, the connection to them. So as long as you get it, if some of them are trapped on the other side, we've been taught that you can help free them. And a lot of them are working through you to make sure that you make it. You see, so yeah, they are not under the same, I guess, judgment, I can only think of that word at the moment, that we are, because once you know better, you're supposed to do better. You can pretend, but the truth is always going to be the truth. It will never change. People can try and ignore it and don't, you know, do anything about it. But if they have had the opportunity, then, you know, that's down to you because you're judging yourself by way of your actions. So yeah, the ancestors weren't under the same, the same position that you are. You've got to look at it now, take it and run with it and do your best. All right.
Peace, Brother Second. This is Paul again. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Well,
I have a million of them. I know I need to join some classes, and I already started reading some of the books. I've been researching and questioning things since I was a kid, so it's no surprise that it led me to Wu-Sabat. I saw your video on the ancestors and how, you spoke about how we can inherit certain things from them, like their pain, their emotions, their memories, their knowledge. And I personally have received, certain things from my ancestors. Things have come to fruition, like warnings, knowledge and emotions and things that they wanted me to know or inherit. So I wanted to know the Wu-Sabat knowledge and principle, because I know you guys don't use belief. So I wanted to know, like, what was the knowledge of using different methods of communicating with them. Sometimes, people meditate or use tarot or shell readings, fire readings, and they receive, certain messages. And I wanted to know what was the Wu-Sabat, knowledge of using different methods and elements, and certain energies to communicate with them. I also have a personal question for you. We see you the most, we get to interact with you the most and ask questions and see you and really learn a lot from you. And I wanted to know, are you of a higher education? Because I know you spoke about different schools and different titles and different levels of things and knowledge and consciousness and all that. So because we see you the most and we hear you the most and, you're represented the most, are you considered like a higher teacher? Are you considered, of a higher education than other people that we've seen, on these channels, on these lives and everything? And this is all respect, no division, no anything. It's just all about curiosity and gaining more knowledge. So I just wanted to know. We love seeing you. We love seeing your brothers and sisters. And I thank you. Peace. I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you. The first question, that's regarding the rituals and the things that we do as a family of Wu-Sabat or Moisar of our culture. We do have, this is why we always express to people to come close or go to the stores, be part of the family and learn the way, part of that, right? So it's also in the scrolls in terms of how we communicate with our ancestors. And in the Telegram group, we give all the details of how you're supposed to do that as we've been taught. We don't just do things like you mentioned, tarot, like we don't just do every and anything, because some of these things are not good for us or we're not advised by Partner Nabab to do so. But yeah, we do have specific ways of how we set up our altar and how we communicate with our ancestors, so you can learn that once you become a part of the family and accept the culture into your life. The second part of your question, no, I'm a teacher just like everyone else. There is no like hierarchy. We all student teachers because we're all students of the master teacher, and because we teach at certain times, we're more sitting in the seat of a student. As far as my education, I just study the books and study the scrolls like everyone else to the best of my ability, and I've always had a passion to share it, and that's how we want more teachers. We want more, especially our sacred feminine, who are doing very good in this. They're also teachers. Other brothers are teachers too. So yeah, as far as education in the circular world, yes, I mean, I've got so many qualifications and degrees and stuff like that. So yes, I did study in that world too. But my passion's always been like, you can get as many degrees in that world which don't really go into detail about your being, who you really are. And the master teacher, Partner Bab Yanun, was able to do that. Like answer every question. He can give you 720 degrees. So, and it's something you want to know, because there's nothing more, I suppose, important than learning about who you are yourself. So once you start to study and attend classes, the more you study, the more, anytime you're around people that are asking questions, you're going to be able to answer that question. And if you find yourself constantly answering questions, then really you should start teaching. And with teaching, there are many different ways. All of us are teachers, hence we say each one teach one. That's reading a scroll and sharing it. That's all we're really doing. We share what we've been taught or what we learned from the master teacher, Partner Babyanun. But yeah, there are obviously those who want to become student teachers, and they can be given information and the ways of studying, or the master can select someone to be a student teacher. There are many ways, but really we all have to teach this doctrine and this information to the world. Yeah, I guess others may not have the same amount of time, or they're not in a position yet to, you know, but this is something that's going to spread, and you're going to hear more and more teachers all around the world. We have a lot of infrastructure and things that are happening, and we do need the help and the support as much as possible. But there are other people behind the scenes as well, so it's not just because you see me all the time. Obviously, you know my other two brothers, Ni and Haptui. We do a lot of teaching together as triads, and that's something that you're going to see more and more of. So I appreciate your comments, and we're just doing our best to, share what the master teacher, Partner Babyanun, has shared with us. He says read, and then teach. All right, so any one of us can read one book and just teach on that one book, or share that information in that one book, and you'll be amazed what that would do to help other people. All right, Tawakul. All right, let's go back to the chat. Someone just asked, I think is Kernrose Saleh 7393. When Wu-Sabat coming to Trinidad? It's already there. Yeah, Wu-Sabat is worldwide. It's everywhere, and we actually have a lot going on in Trinidad. So, there's already a temple in Trinidad. So yeah, Wu-Sabat's already in Trinidad. If you want to get the address and everything, go to the UnitedSabiorsWorldwide.com. That's the official website. Go to the contact, and you will see all the locations worldwide, and more being added on every now and again. So yeah, we're already in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. Okay, I'm looking for more questions. If they are being removed, then who will be left behind? I think that may be referring to the sixth ether or the Adamite forces. Yeah. Those that are left behind are those that were not removed, because so when you say who will be left behind, it's everyone else that's not being removed. So okay, I'm trying to, that's not a question. This is from Levi, once we know the migration of our ancestors, can we identify as Nubian, Nuwapian, Native American? We are Nuwapians. The word Nubian actually comes from the word Nuwabian or Nuwapian. And when you say Native Americans, we already are Native Americans. We're native to the planet. We're indigenous and native to pretty much everywhere you go on the planet. So we are that. But obviously the term collectively, and another thing, people will say things like, you're not from, like Wu-Sabat, we're not teaching that you're a location, or because you were born in Trinidad, or you were born in Jamaica, or you were born in another part of America or somewhere, that's where you're from. You're not from a location. So people saying, oh, if you're born in Sudan, then you're Sudanese. If you're born in Nigeria, no, because those names didn't exist at one point. So therefore, you were who you are by your DNA. So you could be anywhere on the planet, but your DNA will go back to those original beings that the master teacher has taught us, who came from the place people are referring to, Africa or Ganawa. okay? And the DNA of our ancestors didn't come from here. Some beings were made or grafted here, but anything or anyone that is grafted takes that which already was here to mix with, to produce a new hybrid. So our ancestors, the master teacher teaches us, they came from Orion, they came from Cyrus or Sirius and came down here, and they set up here and had offspring, you know. So it depends, and it also depends how far back you're going. So yeah, people that try to tie to a location and say, that's where I'm from. It's not the location, it's about your DNA. And that's why worldwide right now, by way of the Human Genome Project, they've deciphered and broken down DNA and who has what DNA and who you're tied to and how you evolved and where you came from. So it's not about the place that you are finding yourself. We have an actual fact called who and what you are, not what you accept. Right? Seek that actual fact. All right, so let's go to the next question. Guyana, freedom to the master teacher. This is from Questionnaire Viper. Ashok, the master teacher, will be out, but there will be fear. This is true. That's what's happening right now. It's what they call it, a nationality, because his return is a demise for a lot of people. That's why I say it doesn't matter what anybody's got to say. The master teacher will be out, and once he's out, okay, let's see. Once the smoke clears out of the way, we'll see who's still standing, because everyone can claim this and claim that, but he's on his way home. Are you ready? Are you prepared? They denied stone stands. Can you be a messiah in the brotherhood if you are sworn to secrecy? Wouldn't you have to be the stone the builders refused? The word of Messiah just means anointed. Okay, anybody can be anointed, but it's what are you being anointed into and by whom? Okay, so you can be, you know, the cherub, the anointed cherub. That's not the same as being anointed into the brotherhood of the master's lodge, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, or being anointed in terms of the ritual with being, you know, getting like oil rubbed on you and you're anointed into an order of some sort. So the word Messiah just means anointed, and you're either anointed into a particular order, like we say. If you really look at it, you've got two sides, agreeable and disagreeable. You can be anointed or accepted into, you know, an order that is not for you. Okay, so, and the thing about, you can't talk about something that you are not in. So you're speculating in terms of, you know, you're talking like in terms of secrecy and all of that. So, you know, how do you know if you're not a part of it? So Adamites are in your race. Are you protecting your race? They are not in my race. I race with light. That's question is confusing, or it's a conversation. So you can become and live in the image and likeness of the Adamites by behaving and doing the things that they do. So no one is exempt if they live in the image and likeness of the beast, as is spoken about. So that's why we say this is not about color and race. It's about, are you transforming yourself inside out? You can't just like be judgmental and look at people and just start saying who is and who isn't. That's not really for us to do. What you have to do is work on yourself. Right, let me go through these questions. Yeah. Go on then. Let me take, because we haven't had any questions from
TikTok from Little Black Butterfly 50 says, these dudes are criminals, scammers, Moors.
Yeah, like I said, anyone can make allegations and accusations and, you know, hype. And, yeah, but, you know, at the end of the day, come with the facts and the receipts and the evidence. Like, these distractions, that's not what we're about. Like I said, the master teacher has been wrongfully incarcerated based on conspiracies and lies, and you know, it's happened to many, many people. Okay, someone I already answered that question, so that's what I'm saying. Is like anybody can accuse anybody of anything, but does it make it true? And time will tell. In the end, we'll see who remains standing. Ancient beings coming back from where? The same place. Now, I don't know what Hukanu resides. I don't know who that is.
I'll give you some more if you want.
Nah, there's loads on here. I just want to find ones that are sensible, because we do get some that are just not. Okay, this is from Sunflower. Today someone told me if I didn't follow God, I would go to hell. So I said, you can follow your God. I am good. I really want to say you go to hell, laughing out loud. What would you say to that? Yeah, again, threats of, you know, people going to hell, to this unconfirmed place. This is all religious beliefs, you know. We don't really deal with the beliefs. We deal with the facts. And if you believe hell, the word hell can be a state of mind. It can be a place, not necessarily the way it's described in the Bible. People give themselves hell every day by their actions and the things that they do, by the things they eat, the things they smoke, the things they're around, their mental state and how they behave. Like, hell is a state of mind as well as a place. So it's not the one that you've been taught, like, oh, down there, because people have gone through, you know, from the North Pole to the South Pole, and have come out and they haven't located this hell that is spoken about in the Bible, you know. So you give yourself hell. Have you got a voice? Go for it.
Rahubat Zamal.
Rahubat.
This is Jordan. I'm here with a question. How do I join the family?
That was it.
Well, how to join the family? Oh, okay. First of all, it depends on where you are, and we encourage everyone. The Telegram link is in the chat, the official OSM Telegram group. If you want to know more information, you can always ask in there. But depending on where you are, go to your nearest bookstore, location, gathering, event, and they will tell you, you know, what you need to do. But you can just turn up and start participating, helping in, you know, what's going on. Just some people, like, I gave this analogy before, like, you want to cross the road, the lights are red and there are no cars coming. And when I say the lights, I mean that, you know, the little light that tells you whether you can cross the road, it's red instead of being green, but there are no cars coming. Are you going to wait and wait until the light turns green, or are you just going to cross the road because you're using your own mind to see, like, there's nothing coming on both sides, and regardless of the light telling you to cross the road, you're going to cross the road? So I'm saying sometimes people are waiting instead of just being active and getting involved, and, you know, just turning up. How can I help? What can I do? You know, and just keep turning up. People get to know you. They'll be like, this brother or sister is serious. You know, they're helping, they come around, they're participating. Everybody gets to know you. You become family. Like, some people are waiting for some kind of red carpet or some kind of invitation to become part of the family. Like, start reading the books, applying what the master is teaching, transforming yourself, go into your nearest location, bookstore, participating, not just staying on the outside and pointing fingers and just talking and slandering and all of that. That doesn't help anybody. Like, what do we get from that? You know, so I'm saying just be yourself, but at the same time, participate. Don't spectate. I'm just going through the chat to see any more questions.
Good one.
You got one? Go for it.
Good one. It's just, who is the master teacher?
Who's the master teacher? Okay, he's the teacher of all teachers by proof of his works. These are just some of his books. He's written over 1,000 books on every subject conceivable, answered everyone's questions from all walks of life, regardless of your race, regardless of the question, how complex or how simple it is. He will answer your question. He's just a giver. He gives of himself. He pours out his soul to the world to help us wake up from the spell of Leviathan, or is known by many names, right? Kingu, you know, religion, and just anything that is hiding truth, he will expose. And he's here for humanity. He's here to bring about the new world, the new 24,000 year cycle, the sun cycle, which is the rejuvenation of bringing back the proper way of truth. And for those who want to raise their consciousness and learn, he's there to teach us. And so you have to seek out and find out more about who he is. He's known by many titles. Dr. Malachi Z.K. York is a name that, you know, he's known by, but his galactical name is Yanun, right? He's a being that holds the golden pen, that writes the books. Yeah, so a lot of information comes through him. He's the one that most people have been taught about to come at what they refer to as the end of the world. And you will know that for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Study, check him out. Like he says, check me out, but do the same for everyone else. You know, let's make it fair. Don't just come at him, come at everyone else who's teaching you and scrutinize them too in terms of what they're teaching and see if it makes sense. And your soul will tell you for yourself, you know, what is true. And there's a lot more I could tell you about him. You know, he's the being that is referred to by so many titles. He's an incarnation to this realm from the higher realms. And a lot of the times when we say things here, this is another thing, people will come at us or come at me like I'm the one that's writing the book or saying these things. No, Panda Babyanun says it himself. If we get an update, we get an update. And if I read the update or I relay the information, you can't come at me like I wrote it. You see, so a lot of times people are hearing things that nobody else is teaching or that no one else has said because they're not close, or they're not, like, there are people who read, that speak with him by many means, you know, daily. So they relay information, you know. So at the end of the day, if you're behind or you're still using old information and old books, not saying they're not useful, but a lot of people are not up to date. In real time, they don't know what's really going on. And that's why you have to make it your duty to get close to those people that are close to those people that are close, that, you know, have contact. And so, yeah, you know, if I read something that has come out, you have the opportunity to find out whether that's true or not true. You know, if I read something I read stuff from the books, like, there are going to be people who are going to say, oh, it's not from him. Okay, produce the likes of it or produce the facts. You know, so I'm saying that, yeah, the master teacher is the person that's been teaching since, like I said, the 60s, 1962, 63, and officially opened the seventh seal in 1970, and has been pouring out information to the world. And it's all documented. So anyone can pick up the book, read it. You don't have to agree. You know, go and do whatever, follow whatever you think is good for you or best for you. Like I was saying that part of that, I couldn't remember the name of it, but it's basically saying Islam, and the documentary we put out as well, when we hit 100k subscribers, we say like Islam is a beautiful religion for the Muslims. Christianity is a beautiful religion for the Christians, you know, for the Jews, for the Hindus, for the whoever else. But for us, Wu-Sabat, wu-nuwapu, that's for us. That's our way. And everyone and anyone is welcome to join, but it's not going to change, and we're going to be who we are. And we're going to respect and celebrate our culture, you know, just like everybody else does. So it's okay. We're not looking for followers and begging people to come and follow what we're doing. You do that by your own accord when you study, read, and see if it makes sense, and if it touches your heart, and if it touches your soul. All right. Original thought can be creative or it can be destructive. It can be either one when someone tries to say it's only one. Yeah, this is what we teach in Wu-Sabat, that you have the two sides of your nature, 180 degrees of agreeable and 180 degrees of disagreeable. And you're in the middle, and you've got to choose and make decisions based on what you decide. You know, we have a part of that called the decision. Learn how, but the thing is, you've been bamboozled and evil has been made fair seeming. So a lot of people don't know good from bad anymore, or what's good for them or what's not good for them, because if there is an agenda to take away real, let's say, bananas, which are meant to be healthy and nutritious for you, and I create a GMO version, and that lacks the same nutritional value, and then you choose to eat that, but you don't know. That means someone has stepped in to change the course of your fate, because now you're eating something that is not the original. So a lot of people don't know anymore. Like, they've been confused to the point they don't know truth from falsehood. They don't know, and it's getting worse because reality is now being distorted by AI and all these other things. So now it's even harder for people to know what's truth. And the master teacher's been telling us the truth to the point where now the things you're hearing about extraterrestrials and all the stuff he's been teaching, some people know it because it's innate within their being. And some people are like, I knew this all my life, because your DNA has just been triggered now and you're just getting confirmations. And obviously they're going to tell you and release things because they're compelled to tell you the truth, because we're in that day and time. So in order for you to really know, you've got to get the actual facts. You've got to do research. All right, let me see what other questions we have. If you have any burning ones from any of the other groups.
This is from Blue Skies on TikTok.
Yeah.
It says, why does the other races hate black people, and why is this allowed by God?
Yeah, because God created hatred. He put enmity between the woman's seed, yeah, and as it says, the serpent. That's what I'm saying. A lot of religious people, they don't want to accept when we say, if you claim that God created everything, then good and bad is created by him. And so that word enmity actually is a hatred, or like, like jealousy, all of what we call the mental diseases, like that, they come by way of that nature of that being. Because like, to put enmity or a wedge between two people, and when you say seed, you're talking about offspring. All right, so yeah, why did he create hatred? You know, why does he want? And when you start to look at us, as you say, as a race of people, we've done nothing to warrant that type of, you know, racism and what we've been through. So, but we also know that the day will come. If you read the whole of the book of Revelations, it talks about the day and time we're in terms of Revelations 18:2, for example, it says, come out of my people. So you will not partake of their iniquities. So what I'm saying is, like, read the whole of 18. It means that the time will come where you will receive, as they say, salvation, because all we've done is give the world so much, you know, and racism and all these things are man-made by these disagreeable forces that tie to the extraterrestrials that are the ones talking and saying that they were made in their image and their likeness. So when you're reading that, what you're saying is the nature of these draconians, reptilians, is that nature that brings about disagreeableness, and the Pleiadians as well, because they look in their likeness. Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize that's why we have to decipher things. Like, it's not talking about us. There are different creation stories or different people within the book, but you just think is one person called Adam, but it was talking about the Adamites of 6,000 years ago. We're no 6,000 year people. We go back millions and millions and millions of years, and we are loving, caring and peaceful people. So there's that jealousy. It's a love-hate relationship where can't do without you, but don't want you around, you know. But we will overcome all of that, because humanity has to upgrade and leave those 9 mental diseases behind. Your Honor?
Did we come from Enki and Enlil?
It depends on who the we is. Some people did, and some people didn't, because Enki and Enlil are just 2 sons of Anu, and they use, you know, their DNA by way of having children and offspring on the planet. So some people do come from that, and others don't. Like we say, we are children of the Natharu, and we've been taught this by the master teacher, and those who gravitate to this DNA doctrine is because it's in their DNA. Yeah, so yeah, there are some people that are related to the Anunnaki, because you know Enki went into Africa and took wives and had children, you know. So that's why we say it depends on your DNA and your bloodline who you relate back to. And they use their DNA in creating what they refer to as the Lulu Amilu, the primitive worker. This is what the Anunnaki did. And there were different gravitations by different extraterrestrials that came to this planet. Yeah. So yes, some people are and some people aren't. Right?
Blue skies. I have had an encounter with a lizard-looking man. Are black people connected to them?
When you say a lizard-looking man, yeah, it's all in the holy tablets. You know, there are many reptilians. There are different types and different species of reptilians, and we tie into those genetics, as the master teacher, Partner Babyanun, has explained. He explained to us that when you look at yourself, right, in terms of the trimesters that you go through in your mother's womb, like there were 3 months prior to that, right? So a lot of people don't realize that when you come out, you're actually 1 year old, or 12 months, not 9 months, because the perfect time for a woman, in fact, it's in the Leviathan scroll. I might just read it if I can find it quickly. But it takes 3 months for you to prepare your being to be at the perfect state to then have a child, for the male and the female to come together. I'm trying to remember the actual term for it. It's like the ovulation of the woman. It takes 3 months, right? So you have to go and do some research. But so by that time, then you go through the 3 trimesters where you are a reptilian, in terms of a being that looks like, when you're looking at the sperm, you say the semen, right? When you say semen, you're literally saying semen, right? Phonetically, it's S-E-A-M-E-N, even though it's spelled S-E-M-E-N, right? So that semen, that I'll leave it, I'll try and find it another time, but you go through being in water as that tadpole looking with a big head and a little tail. And as you grow up, you go through that the gray part where you go big head, big eyes, and a small body, right? And then you evolve, and then go through, you know, coming out into land. So the DNA is tied into that whole thing about coming out of the waters, because you need water all the time. You need to drink water, you need to bathe in water, have showers, have baths. People like to vacate and go on vacation and be by the beach, by the sea. If you don't cream yourself, your skin gets ashy. You still have webs in between your fingers. You know, we have the reptilian trait within our being. And so when you say reptilian, there are different species, and there are those that have come here and they're able to shapeshift and camouflage themselves to make you don't see them in their proper true form. So there's different types of reptilians walking the planet, and some of them have infiltrated and they're in high positions and they're everywhere, you know. So you seeing one or maybe encountering one, you know, it's all over social media now. Like, you know, people that are not able to hold their form because some of them need certain things to be able to be and remain in that form, you know. So yeah, you're going to see all types, you know. They're revealing themselves with disclosure. You're going to see more and more of it. I know we've been saying this for so many years, and back then people didn't take us seriously or were laughing or thinking it was a joke. But as time has gone on, like the master, everything he has said has come to pass. And whether you accept it or not, it's going to keep happening. So don't be surprised if you have encounters with, you know, different beings. I'm just seeing if there are any other questions. Extraterrestrials it's not going to be, you know, like when you're first and you're talking about something, people might think, but for us, but we're very comfortable with this subject because, you know, we've been talking about it and teaching on it for so long. It's like the biblical story of Noah building an ark in the desert. Everyone thinks like, you're crazy. Like, why are you building an ark in the desert? To save those beings, knowing that the flood is going to come. Yeah. So those who ended up getting drowned, they weren't laughing when that started happening. So it's a similar, I'm just using that as an analogy to say that someone will come with information that's so far ahead and someone would think it doesn't make sense or whatever, but then that day and time will come. Everything will come to pass. And I'm just saying, like, it's not about teaching doomsday or, you know, but there are things that scientists are talking about. You know, there are things that he has said and you know, they've come to pass. So for us, that's another thing. People say question. Yes, question. You question to the point where you get to a point where you know the man or the being, and he would tell you there's going to come a time where you can't go and fact check this because I'm a visitor, I'm coming with new information that you're not going to find. Or if he always says go and check it out. But the thing is, there's some information that you may go and check it out and don't find it, but a few years later it will come out because everything he says, if it's not there readily available, will come out because he's ahead, you know. So those who know, those who don't. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. Okay, I think there's a question here. Rahul Batsaken, what you think about the 3-eye atlas? Young elder has a recording about it saying it's all false about the master teacher. Whatever he says, you have to kind of ask him. The 3-eye atlas has been all over the news and whatever, and we've not specifically spoken about it to say that, you know, we're claiming or saying anything about it. We know about other meteorites, and we know about meteorites that the master teacher has wrote about. And when we relay this information to people, some accept it and some don't, you know. But yeah, we don't speak specifically about through our atlas. We relay information. Sometimes we speak on current affairs or current information so that people are aware of it and how it relates to something that the master has taught. But there is a lot of false information that is also put out into the public to distort things, you know. So I'm not going to speak on what someone else is teaching. So yeah, we don't give opinions on things that it's not coming from us. All right, as in from by way of Partner Babiano. Go ahead.
Someone says, I've always questioned religion and the Bible, but where can I start to look to research on my own?
Well, I mean, it's all over the place. You can Google now, like the tools now. You can literally just get apps, you know, like we use Blue Letter Bible, Quran.com. And yeah, you can literally like get the tools, read it in English, the tools where you can see the Hebrew, you get the transliteration. Yeah, like if I could give a quick example, let's see if I can. Okay, if you go to, I've just pulled up, you can't see my screen, but Quran.com, yeah? Let's say you wanted to learn and study that. It's the same with the Bible, I'm just using this, right? So they will give you all the different versions of the Quran. So I've just pulled up 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah? And it's the first one is called Surah Al-Fatiha, which they translate as the opener. Now, if you started to read that, you see the Arabic, and then you see, like I've pulled up different versions here. So I've got the Mustafa Khatab, I've got M. Picthor, I've got the Yusuf Ali, which is actually quite popular. And each one of these, this is how you will know, right? The Arabic, you see the Arabic script, you read it from right to left, and each one of them translates it as, okay, let me give you the transliteration. So the transliteration, if you know Arabic, because we were taught Arabic by the master teacher, it says, Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, right? That's the first line. And every one of these different versions, I'm going to read what they say it means, right? So the Mustafa one says, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Then you look at the one from Picthor, he says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. So it's already changed. One said the most compassionate, one says the beneficent. Then you go to the Yusuf Ali one, which is quite popular, and it says, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. So the same, and we can carry on reading the next part of that surah, okay? And it carries on. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And in the Dr. Mustafa Khatab version, it says, all praises for Allah, Lord of all worlds. Okay, we go to so the transliteration would be where he's saying, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay, then you go to the Yusuf Ali now. He says, praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the world. So this is, I'm giving you different versions and they're all saying different things. We keep going. The next part says, Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim. Yeah. The Mustafa translates that to be the most compassionate, most merciful. The Picthor says, the beneficent, the merciful. Right. So these are all like three versions giving you different. And then the Yusuf one says, most gracious, most merciful. All right. We keep going. The next bit is Maliki Yawmuddin, right, which is translated as Mustafa says, master of the day of judgment. Yeah, Maliki Yawmuddin. And then Picthor says, master of the day of judgment. Okay, they've agreed on that one. And Yusuf Ali also says master of the day of judgment. And then Iyaka nabudu iyaka nasta'in, right? That's the next part. And they say, you alone we worship and you alone we ask for help. All right, that's Mustafa. Then you go to the Picthall and he says, thee alone we worship, thee alone we ask for help. And then the Yusuf Ali says, thee do we worship and thine aid we seek. I'm going to finish it because it's quite short, right? Then you've got Indina Suratul Mustaqim, which they say, right? Mustafa says, guide us along the straight path. And then Picthall says, show us the straight path. And Yusuf Ali says, show us the straight path. Okay, what's the rest of it? It says, Siratul al-Ladhina al-Amta alayhim ghayur al-Muqdubi alayhim walad-Dalin, which is, again, the path of those you have blessed, not those you displeased with or those who are astray. That's Mustafa. Then you got the Picthall says, the path of those whom thou hast favored, not the path of those who earn thine anger, nor of those who go astray. And then finally, the Yusuf says, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed the grace, those whose portion is not wrath and who go not astray. See, so we do this a lot with the Bible, but you can do that with the Quran as well. If you go to these tools, you can see the Arabic. Now, if I was to read that properly from the master's translations, you will see that it's completely different to what they're saying to you. So don't be fooled by that. Nothing has changed and this is the correct way and everyone else is wrong, because a lot of what has been written was not available anymore at the time because there's no original Quran, right? And that's the same for the Bible, and it's the same for these books that have been put together by men. So yeah, the best way is to study for yourself, and then when you read the Master Scrolls, you get the clear translation of the truth. All right, but again, like I said, we're not really here to put anybody's religion down. We're just here to give you the facts and teach you the truth, the pristine truth. All right. Let me see. Yeah, pretty much covered most of the questions. Okay, let me see what this is about. This is from Nigel Gomes. Years ago, I went to a church. One of the men dressed in black. I could see his aura. He was glowing like a Ready Break commercial. What was that? The aura. You have a light being, an electrical charge around your body. So some people have the ability to see auras and to see the energy field around people. So that's what it was. Okay. Okay. All right, folks. Tawukum, which means thank you all. All I will say is stay focused, stay on the right knowledge, the right wisdom that leads you to the right understanding. Okay, and then it leads you to sound right reasoning. Reason for yourself. You can follow people all you want, but you don't know where they're going to take you. We only have one teacher, one master teacher, one guide. That's Panda Babianun. Not anyone else. Like, we're all students. We're all learning from him. And that should be your guide. That's your center. And other than that, it will be yourself. Of course, we have to unite and work together. But learn to see through the crap and learn to stay focused. Do the study. Study. Read. And then teach. Each one, teach one.